Yo, what's poppin' everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Lesage here. Today we're going to be covering over one of my favorite decks in the Twilight Masquerade formats, Dragapult EX. Not only is it Dragapult EX, there's also Charizard EX and Pidgeot EX in there for great measure. Is this deck fantastic? Well, I actually won a league challenge in the Montreal area this past week, so hopefully you get a chance to kind of see what's going on with this deck, learn something more, and of course I'm going to be sharing my list. If that all sounds like a plan, like this video, let's jump into the list. So here you have it, Dragapult EX with Charizard EX and Pidgeot EX. Now, this isn't an accident, it isn't I decided to make the worst deck list possible. There are 3 stage 2 Pokemon EX in this deck, and somehow it ties together and works. I mean, it worked well enough for me to win a tournament. I had a really great time, met a lot of great players, and a lot of really cool strategies going into a lot of different games. Now, the thing that makes this deck really cool is Dragapult EX, very powerful attacker, undeniably good attacker. It's Phantom Dive doing 200, and then you can play 6 damage counters wherever you like. Well, the 6 damage counters wherever you like really is what opens this deck up to seeing a lot of success. So you can set up knockouts for future turns, you could set up plays maybe where you can knock something out with the Charizard EX, you could set up plays with Defiance Band, however you like. This list available in the description. You can copy and paste it right now, jump on, or let's hear me out here. And if you need any of the cards for this deck, we have our online code card sponsor PTCGL store, we have kayfabe cards for your physical card needs, and we have the Shuffle Squad website. If there's any other cards you're looking for there, yep, we started having some singles on our own site too. So we're spreading damage counters around with Phantom Dive. It's a very powerful attack. Some decks like Lost Zone Box and Ancient Box can't really keep up with Phantom Dive. Well, in some cases, Dragapult EX loses to fast, accelerating decks like Raging Bolt EX and stuff like that. That's where Charizard EX can come through with its Burning Darkness attack and really knock those Pokemon out. So if they knock out a Dragapult, you can then go Charizard, we're powered up in a go. And this deck has a lot of sweeping moments. You can use Charizard as a way to accelerate your energies to your different Pokemon, such as Dragapult EX itself. You can also use Neo Upper Energy to just kind of take care of the energy requirements on Phantom Dive, or even your Burning Darkness. We've got a lot of really interesting ways that we can kind of make this deck work. We have Drakloak as a way to kind of accelerate our draw engine, where we're able to get one of the top 2 cards of our deck. The other one goes down to the bottom, and we have Pidgeot EX to search things out. Not every single game are you going to get out Pidgeot and Dragapult. There's some games where I played this as a Charizard EX only deck. There's times where I played this as a Dragapult only deck. I think this is kind of like a create your own adventure where not everything's going to be the same every single game, but we have a lot of similar pieces to a traditional Charizard deck or a traditional Dragapult deck, like Cleffa, the Lumineon, Rotom, Arven, Iono. So we have a very tried and true, consistent draw engine. We have a handful of cool techs like Kieran, Professor Turo Scenario, and more that you could search out with Quick Search. And we have some ways for some quick acceleration with Neo Upper Energy and Charizard EX. Balance that with some additional consistency with Drakloak that might take over the Bibero line in some of these other decks. And of course, a variety of attacks between Phantom Dive, Burning Darkness, and even attacking with Radiant Charizard. Your opponent quite often can't put their finger on what's going to happen next. And when lists are running Enhance Hammer, sometimes not, sometimes running this, sometimes running not. A list like this is really hard to put your finger on, which makes it difficult to approach. I don't think this is the deck for every single metagame, but I think if you're going into a relatively new or unknown metagame, this deck has a decent opportunity to handle itself well in many matchups. So it's more of a coverall approach, not the best matchup spread, but it does have a good matchup against a decent bit of stuff in the format. So it would be a really good deck to play at League Cups and League Challenges. That being said, let's check out some of the gameplay, and I'm also going to be hosting a live on the Shuffle Squad channel this week, so stay tuned for that too. Let's check out that gameplay. Okay, so our opponent did not win the coin flip. We're going to go ahead and start second. The reason why we want to start second is so that we have an opportunity to play Arven and other supporters to maybe get out our Pokemon for a decent start. And I mean, this is exactly what I'm talking about. I don't know if I want to start with Rotom. I think Rotom's probably the better starter. It's likely not getting knocked out. And if it does, we're going to have to go for more of a Charizard strategy. Here it looks like, I actually don't know what we're playing against. Maybe it's Ancient Box? We'll have to find out. But either way, we will take an extra mulligan, fine having a rare candy, and it's Great Tusk well. Okay, we'll figure this out. There's an Ancient Booster Energy Capsule. That's fine. That brings us to 200. Looks like we hit Great Tusk Mill. This might be a matchup that you run into it at a League Challenge. It very well could happen. Let's go ahead, search for Arven. And I'm going to Arven, search my deck. We already have the Rotom out, so I want to go for a Buddy Poffin and a Forest Sealstone. And what I'm going to do here is go Buddy Poffin, search my deck. The key things that I want to be searching for are going to be Dreepy, and I want to be searching for... we have another Nest Ball. I think I'm just going to actually go for 1, 1, and 1. So Dreepy, Charmander, because I'm not expecting our opponent to be able to get Giant Tusk knockout or anything else like that. They could go Seda and knock out our Rotom, but we'll have to deal with that once we get there. Let's go Nest Ball. We already grabbed that, so let's go ahead and grab a Pidge. I just want to make sure that we have Dragapult, Pidgeot, we have Charizard. So the reason why we're grabbing a couple of these is in case we need to attack with something different. We might go with Charizard, we might go with Drakloak. We have a lot of different ways to make this happen. Should I put Forest Sealstone on our active? I'm not sure if they play Lost Vacuum. Based off their hand, they might not have the greatest hand. Let's go ahead, put Forest Sealstone on there. Just so our opponent, if they Iono us, because we're going to be at 3, 6, we're going to be at 9 cards after Instant Charge. We're going to go ahead and use Instant Charge, make sure I'm clicking the right one there. And our board set up. We could have had the Manaphy if we needed to. We have Professor Turos next turn. If we need to, we have Arven next turn. We might be able to get out Pidgeot, Charizard, and Dragapult EX at the same time. And I'd really like to go with Dragapult EX as our main attacker if we can. We have to get through Mimikyu somehow. And Dragapult's damage counters do get through Mimikyu. So I'd like to start placing them on the Mimikyu over and over again. And if they play a supporter, they didn't, they're just going to discard the Dragapult. That might be annoying. We only play 2. So a lot of your lines are really small. We'll have to figure out how that plays out. But of course, we get Super Rod there. I think what we're going to start off with here first is we're going to go ahead and go... I think I'm going to pull the trigger on our Forest Sealstone, because that's really going to start allowing us to get everything played out here. And we have a Dragapult. We have a Pidgey. So we're going to start off with Pidgeot. We're going to go Pidgeot, Rare Candy into Pidgeots. At this point, I don't see a reason why we're not going to go ahead and play Arven. So I'm going to go ahead and play Arven because I can get us another missing piece. I guess we need the Dragapult as well. So we need to go... we're going to go ahead and go quick search. Searching our deck for... I might need to think this out a little bit more. Let's go for a Charizard here. Actually, you want to know what? We're not going to go for Charizard. We're going to go for, since we have if we have the Neo Upper Energy, we do not have Neo Upper Energy, so that's why we have to go for Charizard. Got it. Okay, so let's go Charizard here. We're going to go ahead and go Rare Candy, Charizard, because since we didn't attach an energy on our first turn, not really going to worry about what we can and can't do. Let's go ahead here. 1, 2, 3. So we're gonna get the full 3 energies. We're just gonna go 1 here, 1 there, just in case it can attack. 1 there. Really limited on those energies. There's not really, like, we can't search for like both Rare Candy and Dragapult. Otherwise, we try to attack here. And it doesn't look like our opponent has too much going on either. So I think what I'm going to do here is just go Drakloak. And before I play a supporter, I'm going to use Drakloak first, Recon Directive, and we'll choose what we want. I'm going to go Pal Pad in our hand. I don't think our opponent really plays Eerie or anything else like that. And do I have any other opportunities that I want to play anything? Let's go for Arven. I'm going to search my deck for an Ultra Ball, and I'm going to grab a Defiance Band, just so our opponent does not knock us out. I'm going to go ahead and pitch away some cards that I don't really want to see ever again. Don't think that's really going to bite us too much. We are going to grab the Dragapult EX. And what I'm going to do is finish off our turn by using Instant Charge to draw 3 more cards. So we could have attacked with the Charizard. I'm trying to build up the Dragapult to start building up damage onto the Mimikyu so that we're able to potentially win the game through that. And that's going to be a big Mimikyu. That looks like what their top deck was, so they're just going to go Lance Clap for 1 more. That's completely fine. Let's go ahead here and go, first and foremost, let's use Recon Directive. You want to use Recon Directive before you go ahead and start taking your things out. Let's go ahead and grab an Ultra Ball. At this point, I don't see any reason not to go for Dragapult with a Psychic Energy. We still have access to Arven. What do we want to build up here? I think for Arven, we probably want to get Lost Vacuum, so we can Lost Vacuum away that Hero's Cape. So we're going to go ahead here and put on Lost Vacuum into our hand. We're going to see what we can get here. Maybe we want to put some other Pokemon into our hand. I'm okay with like maybe having another, like, I don't know if there's anything else that I really want to like have here. Collapse Stadium might be good in case they got a stadium in their hands. I'm okay with this. And at this point, I'm just going to go ahead and retreat. We're going to set up the Dragapult, and we're trying to win the game, not this turn, but we're going to go knock it on our opponent's active, 6 on the Mimikyu. They're likely going to send up their Mimikyu, so we can't attack them. We're going to go Boss, Lost Vacuum, win the game next turn is really what our plan is here. Our opponent, not the greatest setup for sure, but like really one of those things where could be okay for us. So we're going to go ahead here and go Phantom Dive. And you can see the damage counters are going to be able to go through with Mimikyu. Damage counters are different than damage, so that could be quite beneficial to understand how to get past some things like Mimikyu. And there's nothing that really stops this deck. I don't think there's a terrible matchup. It's not the greatest matchups. And here's their Mimikyu. They're setting that up. Last turn, since they top decked Hero's Cape, since they didn't play it down before, if they just go past here, we will win the game next turn. And there's a Sadez. They did not have an energy in their discard pile that they can use with Sadez, so it's our turn. And of course, we are going to win this game by going Boss's Orders, bringing up the Great Tusk. We're going to go Lost Vacuum taking away a Nest Ball just because it doesn't matter. And we're going to take away their Hero's Cape from play, and we'll give our opponent the thumbs up because we have the game with Phantom Dive, doing knock it on the bench, knock it on the active, multi-prize card turn, and really showing how strong and versatile this Dragapult deck could be. We already had the cards from last turn, right? So we had a very, very powerful setup. Not a great game for our opponent, but at the same time, it could have been bad for us had it been a bad matchup. This deck doesn't truly have any of those terrible matchups that some of the other decks do. A lot of them are middle of the road, and a lot of it's your player skill and understanding of the metagame. And that's what we got going on for our video today. We were able to get out that Dragapult, Pidgeot, and Charizard, really showcasing even that we could use Drakloak in between and Rotom, and like sometimes you'll put that on the Manaphy. Like, it's really a create your own adventure deck, which is super exciting. A lot of the gameplay is going to be different every single game, and it's complex enough where you can kind of outplay your opponents, but also where you're able to master the deck and become a better player by playing the deck too. Like I said, I already got some points on the board with this deck. Maybe you can too. Give it a try at your next League Challenge, League Cup, local, online event, wherever, and let me know what you think about it. Again, I want to shout out to all of our sponsors for the Shuffle Squad, and I've been drinking this Advanced GG. I finished this right before making my video, so if the video looked awesome, it's probably because of the Advanced GG. It might not be the product for everyone, but I really like this product. We have the discount code in our description if you're trying to get your hands on some energy drink powder is basically the way that I like to describe it. Probably a better way to describe it, but that's the way that I'm describing it, and that's all cool. Got a lot of cool things going on with the channel this week, including my live covering this deck as well. So stay tuned for all that and more. Peace out and have a great day. Want to support the Shuffle Squad? Be sure to check out all of our sponsors in the description to pick up Pokemon TCG singles, sealed, and PTCG live codes. You made it to the end. Thank you so much for watching this entire video from the Shuffle Squad. Honestly, from the bottom of our hearts, we appreciate each and every person that supports our content, watches what we have going on every single day, every single week, even from time to time, and continuously allows us to have a forum to project our creative content towards the Pokemon TCG community. So if you haven't already, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and even leave a comment to help boost the YouTube algorithm. That being said, we'll catch you with our next video. Thanks again. Take it easy.